Hello again. I'm Dr. Helen Marley, as you know. The other day I received an email on my website, so you can certainly write to me about any comments, any concerns, any thoughts. And the person who wrote to me was an adult student, and she's asked, "Can I use Succeeding at the Piano as an adult?" And I said, "Of course, you certainly can. You will learn how to count and have your body internalizing the rhythm. You will certainly learn excellent body friendly techniques so that you're comfortable at the instrument and so that you produce a great sound. And you're also going to think about how to be musical at the instrument. Right? This method, oh my goodness, the first pieces that students learn to shape a phrase are a beautiful Mozart sonata theme, a Chopin theme, a Brahms theme, a Schumann theme. So we always want to use these beautiful pieces by classical composers so that the students can really hear a beautiful high point of the phrase and then a tapering of a phrase. So here is Unit 6 of the preparatory level. And in Unit 6, students are learning the grand staff for the very first time. And I always say the middle C is on a little piece of a line. And the students really understand where those important guide notes are for the right hand and the left hand. And let's see, the next piece is middle C high step. And students learn the three basic guide notes of middle C, treble G, and middle C for the left hand, and bass F. So even college students say to me, "I'd never learned guide notes before." And we talk about how essential it is to know basic guide notes so that you can understand the intervals from each of those guide notes. And this method does that gloriously. So there are two beautiful pieces, A Rainbow and Moonlight, based on those fantastic guide notes. And then students learn the very first essential technique for beautiful body-friendly technique, and it's the drip, drop, roll motion. So you'll see students doing that in these videos that are coming up. And you'll notice in the recital book, in this particular unit, there's the sleeping dragon, watching the clock, 2-note march, 3 pieces for this unit. The pieces in the recital book are wonderful for recitals. That's why I called it the recital book. And it's really good for just everyday reinforcement of all the really good things, skills that they're learning in the lesson book. There's a piece in here called 2-note march. And you'll see a video about one of my students. He plays through 2-note march and he plays right through the piece. And at the end he said, "Oh, I thought that I played something incorrectly, but I thought to myself, I'm just going to keep going." And we laugh, and I said, "Oh, you're learning well. When you're performing a piece, you just keep going till the end." So enjoy the videos and enjoy learning from Succeeding at the Piano preparatory level.
Mozart is there on the page to begin Unit 6. Oh my goodness, you know that I want students to enjoy music so much. Classical melodies, folk songs, originals, jazz pieces, and I do want them to learn the great composers, and they get to in Succeeding at the Piano. So page 32, here students are learning their guide note of middle C, and we can say that middle C is on a little piece of a line. And we want our students to understand the spaces, the 5 lines and the 4 spaces. All right, here on page 33 is the middle C high step. Lots of our students will say, "Gosh, that was so fun. It's so easy." And then we say, "It's because you're only playing middle C, right? Only one note." And in the corresponding theory book, I put little smiley faces in the middle C, just so it'll be really, really cute for the students. That way they happily connect the smiley face with middle Cs. So again, since the student is playing the same C in both hands, have the student play their thumb a little bit closer to their body and their thumb slightly above their right hand. The teacher duet part by Mary Leaf is even more exciting.
This middle C is where on the piano? Right there, good. Okay. And you're going to use these fingers. Can you wiggle these fingers? Wiggle them up in the air. And tell me what are they called? What are their finger numbers? One. Okay. All right. So, show me some beautiful, perfect piano hands. You're ready to go. Which hand starts though first? Are you sure there you go. It's your right, left, right. 2, 3, 4. And then left, right, left, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Was that student? Okay, it is fun. Good counting, my dear. Very good.
On page 34 and 35, terrific two pieces by Kevin Olson where the students learn middle C, treble G, and then the guide note of bass F. We must tell our students over and over again, middle C, treble G, bass F. Have the students count up how many notes they're skipping. Oh, I'm skipping 3 keys. And down here to the F, I'm skipping 3 white keys again. I like the idea that I put the red line through the guide notes of treble G and bass F so the students can really see that. And we can continue to add those red lines through those important guide notes so students can really, really remember where they are. All right, so here's a rainbow. And we ask, was that piece played brightly? Oh, yes, it certainly was. Can you sing the song? Right, we can see how well our students match pitch. And then we can ask, how is moonlight different than a rainbow? And most of our students will say, it's peaceful, so it goes slower. Let's see. Wonderful. So now the students know their 3 most important guide notes.
All right, let's put our hands in our lap. Did you think it was bright?
Yeah.
It was nice. And how is it different than a moonlight then?
Because moonlight is a little more quieter and a little more peaceful.
Oh, it certainly is. All right, let's go ahead and put our hands up for this one. We could even go a little slower, so it's even more peaceful. So beautiful.
It's my favorite.
So pretty. Oh my gosh. And I liked how we made a decrescendo at the end of that piece. We got even quieter.
Now let's take a look at page 36. Here is the first physical gesture in the method. And I call it a touch release because I am focused on how the student approaches the key, the sound that they create when they play the key, and how they release from the key. So just simply put, these motions, these physical gestures that we teach our students help them to play with freedom, in their bodies, and for them to understand that their physical apparatus works all together. So it's not just their fingers are playing, right? They're strong, big muscles of the arms and the upper arms and the back is what's producing power and energy through their arms, their elbows, their forearms, wrist, hands, and then to their fingers. So when students learn the drip, drop, roll motion, they understand this fluidity and coordination in their playing apparatus. They understand how to taper phrases without us really having to say too much, and they certainly understand how to play 2-note and 3-note slurs when we get to them, and of course how to release from the keys at the very end of the piece. So let's go ahead and do the drip, drop, roll together. For those of you that know me, gosh, you know this very, very well. So we ask our students to put their arms up like this and imagine that water is dripping through their fingers. One of my students, Carly, she said, "You're so right, Dr. Marley. I was in the shower and I put my hands up like this and water really does drip right through your fingers." Okay, so we can say to our students, drip, 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 and then have them drop to the bottom of the keys or to their thighs, right? And this is the time when we want to make sure that we ask them, what do you feel that's released? And they'll say, it's going to take time. This won't be the first time. But little by little, they'll say, oh my gosh, my elbow is released, my forearm, my shoulder is released. It's so many of our kids play with such tight tension, right? This basic physical gesture of dripping and dropping into the keys allows this humerus bone that goes from the shoulder joint to the elbow to release. So we need to have a happy hanging humerus, and that way the elbow hangs naturally and the students feel that sense of wonderful arm weight. And then the last step is just rolling forward and off the thighs like this. Okay, and if they're rolling forward and off the keys, that's how it feels. Okay, so you could start with just finger 3 on a key and have them drip, drop, and then roll forward and off the keys. You can also have them experiment with sound, right? A pianissimo sound will take a lot less of a drop. And then a bigger sound, more of a drop, and then a roll forward and off the keys.
Drip,
Drop, roll. So let's do our little drip, drop, roll, boy. And let's do it on our thighs. Okay, so we're going to move our arms up like that so that you feel like you got water dripping, dripping, dripping through your fingers. And then let gravity take over, John, and just let your arms drop. Good. And then you roll forward off the keys. Very good. Let's do one more time. When you drop, remember we were saying before that it feels like you got just dead weight. Dead. Yes. And then you roll forward. Yes. Very nice.
And beautiful piece by Brahms, right? All the way through it are drips, drops, and rolls. Drop, roll, drop, roll, drop, and then roll, drop, roll. You get the idea of that. So, of course, that physical gesture, that touch release is throughout so much of what we play. The next page is the guide notes. Here the students are reviewing again with Papa Haydn their 3 guide notes. And at the end of the piece, they're going to use that drip, drop, roll motion that they've learned. And I had that little icon of the little drip, drop, roll boy so that they remember how it feels to play that motion.
Okay, what are the names of our 3 guide notes?
Middle C, base F, treble G.
Very good. And I spy some whole notes. Are they the beginning of the piece or the end of the piece?
And
End of the piece. And there's a little boy that looks sort of similar to you, who's our drip, drop, roll boy. And do you remember what you're supposed to do when you see him? What do you do with your arm? so you just feel a little bit of dropping to the bottom of the key. Right, and your shoulders stay nice and tall. It's just your arms that's releasing. Good, that's it. Nice. All right, I can't wait to hear the whole piece. So good. So you felt that just a little bit of a drop in your arm? Good for you. Very, very well done. You see your four hills. Very good. Your wrist is level with your forearm. Ah, wonderful, perfect piano hands.
That piece is by Kevin Olson, Kangaroos and Race Cars. Tell your Gigi the name of all 3 guide notes. If students keep forgetting what their guide notes are, go ahead and take a red pencil and have them go ahead and trace the G line, the middle C line, and the F line. Which one is middle C? Go ahead and show on the piano where middle C is.
Right there.
Good. And then where's treble G?
Right there.
Good. Go ahead and play it so you can hear it too. Good. And then where's bass F? Yeah. Which hand plays bass F?
The bass clef?
Yes, because it's in the bass clef. So which hand plays it? Your left hand. Okay, great. All of these notes are half notes. So how many beats do they get in that first line? These notes are all half notes.
Like.
How many beats do you count for each line?
Oh, I thought
Yeah, that's what I
it was like
said.
the way we spaced it. 1. Wait, no, 2.
2. Okay, and then in the second line, there's some other notes besides half notes. Can you
Quarter
find-
notes.
They're quarter notes. Good. How many beats do they get?
Like 1.
1, definitely 1. Okay, so how did you sit tall and long with your back? Good. All right, and the sound is going to be forte or piano?
Forte.
Okay, go for it.
Oh, I think.
Nice. Okay, we'll play the repeat together. So when we play the duet together, are you going to play 1 octave higher or do you stay where you are? What does it say? Student plays.
Oh, like for the duet part.
Yeah. You're going to have to move up. All right. So, good. Oh my gosh, very nice. And I know you were going to ask me before, because these guide notes have how many notes or keys skipped in between?
Like starting from 0.
From C to G. So how many keys are skipped between those 2 guide notes?
Like the white keys?
Yeah.
3.
3. Good. And the same thing happens in your bass clef for middle C going down to the guide note F. So how many keys are skipped there?
3.
3. Yeah, so it's a mirror reflection of each other. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Another great thing to use is, of course, a whiteboard. Students love to write on a whiteboard, right? So I always have that in my piano studio for the students. And Flashcard Friend is perfect. Second edition of Flashcard Friend for the preparatory level. Here we just have 4 cards, blue cards that address direction and distance of steps. And then later on will be skips later on. And then they name the guide note. Flashcard Friend says, name this guide note. And at the back of the Flashcard Friend is the answer. So typical, wonderful flashcards for students to use. These are great because I do a lot more with patterns of notes. So students have to understand, let's see, they see 3 notes at once, name the notes in the direction. So they have to say, oh, D, E, D, it's going up and then going down. So lots of intervallic work in the flashcards, naming positions. There are the physical gestures that are in these cards. And then, of course, all the musical symbols. Like this card is cute. What does this musicality girl help you do? And I look at the back of the card. She helps you to listen and observe. In this way, you will learn more quickly and be a fine musician. Isn't that great? And then there are green flashcards at the end of the packet. And these are lots of great rhythms for students to clap and tap and step and march to. There's also an incredible note speller for the first several levels of the method. And I use those judiciously. And of course, there's lots of apps, right, online that you can use. But sometimes I think to myself that basic idea of students just writing notes out is the best way for them to learn them.
What's that interval, Sabina?
It's easy.
It is easy.
Too easy.
So tell me the names of those 2 notes then.
A and C.
Very good. All right, and then do you think this one's easy as well? What is that interval?
D.
Not a D.
Wait, F.
Yeah, C to F. And is that a second, third, or a fourth?
That is a 4.
Good for you. All right, now we have another guide note up there. What guide note is that?
Why did you make this so easy?
I'm so glad you think these are easy. Good. And what is that interval going down? That's so good.
That is a G and that's an E.
Oh, that's so wonderful. Okay, what about this one?
Okay. This one is D. And space above F is G.
It's not a G.
F.
F, that's it. Good.
Why are all of these F's? I just
But is that guide note F down there? We're still in treble clef, aren't we?
wait.
Yes. And what is that interval going down then?
That is F to D.
And what is that interval?
That is what's in there?
The space between?
Oh,
Second,
third. Oh, third.
It's a third.
Can I show you?
One more. Okay, one more. Oh, what are those 2 notes?
One is B.
One is B.
Why did you make it so easy?
I'm so glad you think these are easy.
B, okay, is going down.
Make sure that you're on a B.
What are you making it so easy for me?
It doesn't look like there's chocolate on a B. Looks like C to me. Yes.
It's like a second.
It's not a second though, because a line is skipped, right? Good.
City Sounds is on page 39. Here the students are again reviewing those 3 guide notes. Let's make sure our students' wrists are flexible. Right? There's a difference between them being loose, right? I don't like to say play with a loose wrist because then it gets really bouncy and then their whole body bounces. But if we just say, go ahead and still feel like that daisy is growing through your spine and out the top of your head, right? And imagine that you are the nice drip drop roll boy icon, then they get used to that nice flexible wrist.
Right, let's go ahead and play it.
Hear those city sounds, beep, beep, all around. Fire trucks and siren sounds, so loud over town.
Very good. Was it nice and forte?
And was it lively?
It was like
It was lively. Good.
More beeps and whistles.
Good. Show me your perfect piano hands. Good. Your nice little knuckles, like little hills. So let your wrist relax so that it's nice and parallel with your arm. Let that wrist relax. Oh, does that feel more relaxed? Good. All right. And you still have those beautiful knuckles that are showing. Good for you, my dear. Ready? Very good.
I want to make sure that we see a little bit of the theory in the recital book for Unit 6. So here's Unit 6, the sleeping dragon. Please don't wake that sleeping dragon. I'd leave him alone. If you need to tell him something, I would use the phone. That's a good one, like Timothy Brown. Watching the Clock is a good one too, Kevin Olson. Same review of the guide notes. Why does that red second hat keep moving all that slow? Seems like time is standing still when I just want to go. And the musicality girl asked our students, try playing the notes short, like the ticking of a clock. She also asks, did you hear the forte and the piano dynamics?
So good at it.
You're so good at this piece. Good.
I know. I played it all week long.
Oh, good for you. So tell me about this piece. What do you want your audience to listen for? What do you want them to hear?
Kind of like steady like a clock.
Steady like a clock. Absolutely. Very, very steady like a clock.
No, my mom was baking homemade bread,
Yeah.
and I played the song, and I changed up the lyrics a little bit. And we, sitting and playing the piano, while my mother
Bakes some bread. Right, instead of a cake. That's true. It works perfectly well. Okay, I'm going to be listening for, since you're going to be listening for the steadiness of the beat, I'm going to be listening for the piano dynamic marking at the beginning and the end. Okay, and where's the piano dynamic marking at the end? Where does it begin?
It begins.
Where do you see P? Where do you see the P? It starts there. Okay. All right, so plan that before you begin.
Okay, so it starts with P.
It starts with P, and then where does it go? Mezzo forte. Yes. All mezzo forte. All mezzo forte. Yes. And then piano. Yes. It was quite steady throughout, wasn't it? And how were the two piano dynamics? Very good, very good. Now, there's something that happened in here that I don't think you realize. I'm going to play the first line. I want you to really look at this measure. Oh! Do you already know what I'm going to say? So you had to give how many beats of rest in there? How many? 2. Okay, so really enjoy it though, okay? Really enjoy it. It's kind of like you're waiting in the kitchen, right? Just waiting, enjoying, okay? Okay, so you want to try that first line? Can you count it with me? Now you do the opposite. Now you gave it too much time. Can you just start right on and go 1?
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, they start that.
Okay. Count with me. 1, 2, 4. Okay. So we're gonna stop right on beat 4. Okay. All right. Can you count with me? 3, 1, 2, 3. Good. That was perfect. Well, it was perfect. Now, let's do one more time so that it really becomes a habit.
You know, this song really sounds so good. It reminds me of a movie. It's called Mandy, and teachers are like a place to scheme in. You try to find out this movie. It sounds kind of like it
Really?
sounds like the song this
Oh, that's so neat. That's so neat.
Might should be copied off the song.
No, I don't think it is. No,
That sounds a lot
but
like
it sounds
it.
a lot like it. Okay, so again, plan those 2 beats, and what really helped is that you counted out loud, right? So let's try that.
Two, three.
Same thing there. Ah. So where do you want to take it from? Okay. Okay, so since you know that it's coming, every line, could you just start to count somewhere around here? You don't have to count the whole thing, but just start to count around there. Start to count. Yes. Now, how is that better?
Good.
All right, so does that make sense? You don't have to count the entire piece because you have a really good steady sense of rhythm, but start to count it right when you see those 2 quarter rests looming right in front of you. Does that sound like a good practice strategy? Yeah.
The next piece is a piece my students love, 2-note march. So on and so forth. Just really cute pieces with wonderful teacher duet parts. Oh my goodness. So that students are really inspired to keep learning how to play the piano.
This one has 2 of your most important guide notes. And which of those guide notes is in treble clef? Yes, absolutely. And this time you're not going to use your 5th finger on that G. You're going to use which finger instead?
Oh, third.
Yes. Yeah, just to change your hand position around a little bit. There you go. Okay. The rhythm was good. Your hands together playing was really, really fine. Your hand position looked super. You ready to play it as a duet? Sure. All right. As we play it as a duet, you're going to move up the octave. And that way, my piano part won't be so grovelly. Where will you? Yes, you'll be right there. And you always want to sit in the middle of your piece. There you go. Okay. Shall we repeat it together?
Sure.
I think we should. I'm going to do a little pedal here. Okay, why don't we start with our hands in our
What'd you think of that piece?
Nice.
It's really good. You did a wonderful job. Good for you. Very nice.
In the theory book, here's a lovely page for the grand staff on page 19, and those are the smiley faces in the little C notes as I was explaining before. Students learn how to draw treble clefs and bass clefs. Then we spend time with the guide notes. And there's parrot play. Parrots love to repeat what they hear. So in these particular theory exercises, you will play 2 patterns. Actually, you play 1 pattern out of 2, and you ask the student which one they hear. And there's lots of time to compose activities throughout the theory book. And this one is make up a piece using guide notes. Add the pedal to hear the different sounds. And then there is a title that they can make up. So I'd like to say that for the time to compose activities, you can use them any which way you'd like. Some students like to write out their pieces. Other students just like to kind of improvise on a piece. I tend to have my students work on a piece so that it becomes their own. And they practice it every day so that when they come into the studio or into a group class, I'll say, how about if you play a piece based on the concept of forte and piano? They could play that piece repeatedly and it would be the staying piece. All right, now we're ready for Unit 7.